What is up? Welcome back to the Embrace It podcast. It's episode 4. I had to double check what episode it was. It's been a few weeks since I recorded one, but I'm super excited about what I'm going to talk to today. Um, because I'm going to talk about like what the heck is one-to-one coaching, online coaching. Um, yeah, I feel like it's a little bit of a mystery sometime if you haven't done one-to-one coaching, online coaching, it's like, what is this, right? It's different than personal training, but I'm getting workouts, it's individualized, but I'm not seeing this person in person. It's like, what is it, right? So I want to like talk to you about what the heck it is that I do and my experience with online coaching, which is what led me to want to offer online coaching for other women. So, yeah, if you haven't, you can hit the follow button if you're on Spotify or the subscribe button if you're on YouTube, and that will update you anytime that I post new episodes. I would love feedback from what topics you want on the podcast, because I have lots of ideas, but I want this to be of value to you guys. So, like, I would love if you have any topics or, yeah, just any feedback. I would love it to, provide information and do a topic that you guys want to hear about from me. So let's jump in. Let's talk about kind of my journey prior to having my own coach. I've had my coach, I guess, I've been with my current coach for about 3 years, and then I had another coach prior to that for about 2 to 3 years. So let's say 5 years or so. I've had a one-to-one coach, someone in my corner, in my health and fitness journey. But prior to coaching, man, and I don't know if anybody can resonate with this, but I spun my wheels for a long time. If you're not familiar with me, hi, welcome. If you are, you've probably heard this before, but I struggled with my weight for a lot of my life. At my heaviest, I was like 235. I'm like 5'4" for reference. And so I was about 100 pounds overweight, and I've lost about 100 pounds. And for years and years and years, I spun my wheels, tried fad diets, tried starving myself, living on the cardio piece, um, Googling random meal plans. I mean, you name it, I tried it. And I think I often thought, what is wrong with me, right? Like maybe I'm just meant to be overweight, fat, chubby. Maybe I'm just meant to be this way. I'm broken. I can't stick to anything like these other girls I see who have these crazy transformations. Like, I don't know. Maybe I just have too many issues that I just can't stick to anything. I just used to tell myself this narrative that just kept me stuck. And, all along it was that I just wasn't educated. I didn't have the right support and accountability in my life. But instead, I told that narrative to myself of, you're broken, you're just meant to be overweight, you'll never be able to change, maybe you have too many issues. Like, goodness, I just fed myself this information, and that essentially kept me stuck as well, right? And at the time when I got my first coach, they were local to me. And so it was kind of like a hybrid. I saw them in person some, but um, it was also kind of like online some as well. So it was kind of a combo. And that was more support than I had ever got. It was great. However, then I had a friend who had an online coach, and he said, "Hey Taylor, why don't you talk to my coach? Why don't you talk to an actual like online coach?" And I was like, "No, no. Like I don't want it to be online. Like I like to see the person in person." And he was like, "Taylor, I promise like it's so hands-on, it's so individualized, it's personal. Like it's just because it's online, it's still a one-to-one coach. Like you're getting undivided attention, et cetera, et cetera." Okay, okay, what do I have to lose, right? So jumped on a Zoom and talked to this coach, and my mind was blown because sure, I was like I said, I had a coach at the time, and I was getting a lot more support than I had ever God, but I knew that there probably was some more. I wasn't learning that much. I was kind of being told what to do, and I wasn't really being educated along the way. And again, I didn't know of anything else at that time that there was out there. So, anyways, I talked to this online coach, and my mind was just like, oh my goodness, like it can be this personalized, even though you live in a different state and we may never meet face to face. And I was sold. I was like, heck yes, it was like, let's do this. And now years later, I've never stopped with online coaching since then. I've always had a coach. Even though I'm a lot more educated now and I kind of know what to do to lose weight or gain muscle or whatever, like having a coach in my back pocket, oh my goodness, it's so, so important to me. And I don't know if there will ever be a time where I don't have one, just because of the accountability, the outside perspective, the knowledge, because I don't know it all, right? I know a lot more than I used to, but still, I love to learn. And yeah, so got with this one-to-one coach, and it was like the answer that I had been kind of searching for years prior, right? Like I didn't just want to be handed a plan. I wanted to learn along the way because that's empowering, right? When we know why we're doing the things. And I wanted to see results. I wanted to make this a lifestyle. I wanted someone there with me for the highs, the lows, etc. So yeah, we started to work together, and then okay, several years after having an online one-to-one coach, I was like, wow, having a online coach changed my life, changed my physical, being, but even more than that, it changed my lifestyle. It vastly improved my quality of life, right? Because sure, my coach is helping me change my physical appearance, lose body fat, gain muscle, whatever. But also, like, he has radically helped me to learn how to live a different lifestyle. And when I opened my business, Embrace Fit, about 2.5 years ago, it was like, I want to provide this for other women who also think I'm broken. I'm meant to just be this way. I'm meant to just live this crappy lifestyle. Like, I don't know. I don't know. I just can't stick with things. And I get that because I was there. And so opening my business, it was like, sure, I want to help women change their physical appearance. I want to help women lose body fat and gain muscle and change their body composition. But even more than that, I want to help women live a different lifestyle that serves them in so many ways. I want to help women know they're not broken. They just haven't had the right guidance and tools and plan for themselves to be able to see results, not only see results, but then sustain them long term. So that's kind of where my heart was when opening Embrace Fit, was like, I know there's other people out here who have tried every dang diet there ever was and thinks, I don't know, this is just, I'm broken. And I wanted to help women, have the same transformation that I've been able to have. And so yeah, that's kind of a little um, a backstory of kind of um, my journey with coaching, and then why I decided to open up Embrace Fit. And so, what coaching isn't, right? Or at least what my coaching isn't, because there may be some other programs out there, I know there is, that are a little bit more cookie cutter and things like that. But, what coaching isn't, it's not a copy and paste. It's not just a meal plan here, go figure it out. It's it's so much more than that. It's not some challenge. It is literally like, how can we kind of overhaul your lifestyle slowly but surely so that you are living a lifestyle that helps you to, sure, lose the weight, change the body, whatever, but also live a way that feels so dang good that you never want to stop living that way. Um, so yeah, so let's talk a little bit about, I have some notes here again. Um, So what coaching is, it is completely individualized and hands-on. How I coach personally is like, I want to meet you where you're at, and then we'll build from there. This is the example I always give. If someone comes to me and they're drinking 20 ounces of water a day, I'm not going to say, hey, tomorrow I need you drinking a gallon. Sure, that may be our goal to get to 100 ounces, 128 ounces of water. However, if someone's only drinking a cup of water, tomorrow we're going to shoot for 20 ounces, 40 ounces, whatever, right? And then we are going to slowly but surely build from there. Because in my experience and with women that I work with too, it's like sometimes we try to change things too quick and then it's really hard and or make these kind of standards super high right away and we get discouraged when we don't hit them and then it's like I'm going to throw in the towel because I can't do it, right? So it's slow but steady. Not that I don't challenge my girls initially because it is, it's challenging. However, I am going to meet you exactly where you're at, and then we are going to build from there. And before we know it, we're here, right? We're drinking a gallon of water daily with no thing, right? And it's like, oh, X amount of months ago, I was only drinking 8 ounces of water and not even really thinking about it. But now it's part of my daily routine where I'm getting more than 100 ounces of water, right? And so that's huge is really meeting you where you're at. And I would say another big thing with online coaching in my coaching style, if you will, is the education piece. Like I said, I've been in programs before where I wasn't getting educated. And I just, sure, maybe I saw some results when I left, but I didn't gain much knowledge. And to me, knowledge is power, right? Like, all of my girls, as much as I want them to be with me forever, there's going to be a time, and there has been where girls have graduated my coaching, right? And they're like, hey, I feel really good with maintaining where I'm at. I've learned so much, and I'm going to go off on my own, right? And they have the knowledge, they had the investment, right? They had the knowledge from coaching that they learned through coaching to be able to carry on forever, right? And that's why I always look at coaching too as like an investment, right? Like it's sure it costs money, right? But it's an investment because the knowledge that you gain through coaching, you are going to be able to take this on forever to invest into yourself, right? And so education is huge. It's I want to teach you about why the heck we're drinking water, why protein is important, not just, hey, we need to be getting 135 grams of protein a day. It's like, why do we need protein, right? What is protein? When do I need protein? Like all of this, because I want my girls to leave the program lead coaching with a wealth of knowledge that they feel like, okay, I can now do this on my own because I have a wealth of knowledge. And the way I've been living through coaching has served me in so many ways, kind of like I alluded to earlier, that I don't want to stop living this way, right? That's the goal is to start living a different lifestyle that you feel so dang good that you never want to stop living that way. Um, and that's been my experience, right? And not to get off on a tangent here, but I was thinking about this yesterday. People ask me, "Hey Taylor, like, how do you stay motivated? How do you stay on track?" The thing is anymore, there's no staying on track or off track. And I don't say that like, "Oh, I'm perfect," but it's because this is the way that I live. And I live this way because it has served me. It has served me more than I could ever even explain, right? And so there's no getting off track because getting daily movement in, drinking my water, eating nutrient dense food, getting enough sleep, setting boundaries with people in my life, those things have served me in so many ways that those are things that I will carry on forever. That it's not getting on and off track because the way I live now, I could never imagine living a different way because of how good I feel in my daily life. Not because of the way I look, but because of how good I feel with making those choices day after day. And that is my hope for every woman that joins coaching. And you may be listening to this is if you live a lifestyle that doesn't make you feel that great, that you make some changes and I promise you, if you stick with those through the hard time of change, right? Because it is hard, right? Sometimes we backslip and then we get back on the wagon. But if you stick with those lifestyle things that make you feel good, I promise you, eventually there will be no getting on or getting off track. You will be like, this is the way I live because it serves me in so many ways. Um, so yeah. So So yeah, so let's talk a little bit about kind of like the nitty-gritty of online coaching. It's kind of one of those things too, where once you get into online coaching, it makes more sense, right? Because if you've never done it before, it's kind of like, how does all of this work together? But I'll give you kind of a few minute kind of explanation of what it is. And so excuse me, when someone starts with me, it's like, hey, what are your goals? What have you tried in the past? What are your challenges? What are things that you're doing really well? What have you done in the past that's worked well, not worked well, etc. And like I said earlier, then we build from there, right? And so with my online coaching, I have nutrition only coaching, and then I have what I call full coaching. Full coaching is nutrition and training. Nutrition only coaching is just nutrition. And then both of those are, completely individualized and um, come with ongoing accountability and support as well. And so with my, full coaching, all of my clients with nutrition have individualized nutrition protocols, which are macronutrients, aka macros. Protein, how much protein do we need? How much carbs do we need? And how much fat do we need? And so each client is educated on how the heck do we track macros? What the heck are macronutrients? How to track, why to track. And yeah, complete education on that meal timing, pre and post workout meals, navigating eating out, how the heck do I grocery shop, micronutrients, all of that. So it's complete education on like how do we navigate nutrition day to day in our life, vacations, eating out, how do I navigate nutrition to serve not only my physical, goals, but also my internal health, right? My physical health, my hormones, my metabolism. And so, again, it's really meeting you where you're at nutrition wise, and then we'll build from there. If someone comes to me and they've never tracked a day in their life, tracked their macros, okay, then we're going to start with a calorie goal and we're going to build from there. We're going to start with a calorie goal with tracking. We're going to move to calories and protein. Then we're going to move to full macronutrients. I have some girls that come to me and they're, well versed in tracking macronutrients. Okay, what are you doing now? And then we just change intake goals if needed. So it's really meeting you where you're at, and then we're going to build from there. Um, and so that's the nutrition piece. Also, with nutrition, I am a huge proponent of kind of the 80-20 rule. And 80-20 rule is just like, 80% of our foods, give or take, should come from whole food, nutrient dense options. But then 20%, we have some fun foods, right? We throw in some ice cream or some French fries or some pizza, right? And with that balance, my belief in what I've seen is that we're still able to see physique results come to life in physical health and feel our best, and it doesn't feel super restrictive, right? It's not that we can't ever have French fries. Of course we can, right? We just need to be having less French fries and more apples, right? And so helping women learn that 80-20 rule, and oftentimes helping women kind of undo that all or nothing mindset, right? Because I used to struggle with this as well. As it was, I would start a diet and it was like, okay, these are the only things I can eat, and I can't eat anything like this. And I would burn out pretty quickly, right? And so a lot of women come to me and they experience the same thing, right? And so really helping women like, hey, yes, there is food that we should have more of and food that we should have less of, right? However, there is room for both. And so helping women, with that through coaching is huge. And then with the training piece. So, I just, before we start, I talk to women like, hey, okay, what are our physique results? Do we have any injuries or limitations? Where are we working out at? Are we working out at home? Are we working out at a gym? Are we doing a combination? What equipment do you have access to? How many days a week do you have to give me for training? How much time when you're there can you devote to training? Okay. And then I write a training protocol based off of those factors. And so it's completely individualized. We update training throughout our time together. We implement and talk about progressive overload, which is just making sure that we are progressing in the gym with our training to make sure that we're seeing the results that we want to see. Um, and yeah, so completely individualized, training. And since we're not training in person, because it's online, of course, I have my ladies send to me form videos each week of them doing certain movements. And then as part of their check-in, which I'll get to in a second, as part of their weekly check-in, I review those videos for form feedback, but also intensity feedback. So I'm still able to be pretty hands-on with the women and their training, even though we're not in person. So that's huge. The ladies who send form videos and intensity videos to me for review, they see a great deal of progress because one, we can make sure we're doing the movement correctly, but then two, we can make sure that intensity is there. Because if intensity is not there in the gym, we're leaving a lot of results on the table. And sometimes we just need to be told, like, hey, you have another rep in the tank, or hey, go up in weight this week. Like you can do it, right? And so yeah, that's huge, is empowering women to like, hey, intensity is there, or hey, like you can pick it up. Um, and so yeah, that is training in a nutshell. That's one of my favorite pieces in the program because I love to train and it's been such an outlet in my life. And I love working with women too who maybe they've been out of the gym for a couple years, or maybe they've never stepped foot in the gym, or maybe they've been in the gym for a while and they're ready to turn things up a notch. And it's like seeing women get comfortable in the gym space and then starting to fall in love with the gym space, and then see results of their efforts from the gym space, like, oh my gosh, it just does something to my heart because this journey, and I say this all the time and I'll say it until I'm blue in the face, but it's so much more than our physical being. It is having discipline with our nutrition and our training can translate into so many other areas of our life. Yeah, so we're not going to get on a rant about that, but so yeah, that's the training piece. And then the accountability piece. This is my favorite part of the program because I know how much accountability in my life serves me. And when I don't have accountability, I'm easy to fall off on things. I just posted something on my Facebook this morning about sometimes I wake up in the morning and I'm like, okay, let's get the day started, right? So I don't sit in solitude. I don't read my devotional prayer. I'm just like, I better get started with the day. And I had recently shared this with a mentor of mine. She was like, all right, we're getting back to 15 minutes of solitude each day. And so the last few days, I'm like, okay, we're doing this because I have accountability to stick to this because I know this is something that serves me. But if we don't have accountability, it is so easy to fall off on those things, right? And so this is just why accountability in my life has changed my life radically. And so this is why this is such a big part of my program, of my coaching, because it is huge. It's needed. And so I am available 24/6 to my clients. I take Saturdays to unplug from clients, but any other day during the week, my clients have access to me. Questions, comments, concerns, challenges. They want to celebrate a win. Like we can communicate as much as they need throughout the week for that, support and accountability. And this also allows for a relationship to be built, right? Like I have a relationship with each of my clients. Sure, some of them I've met in person, but a lot of them I haven't. However, we have been able to cultivate a personal relationship. Sure, I'm their coach, but also I care about them as humans. I care about what is going on in their life. And we have been able to create this relationship, yes, a coaching client relationship, but also a personal relationship as well. That is just so important to me. And that's one thing that, several things that I love, but one of the one things that I love about, online coaching is that I'm able to have that relationship with each one of my clients. And that's so special to me. Because they trust me with being a part of their journey, and I share things with them about my journey, and I can trust them and sharing some things that I've been through or that's worked or that hasn't, or failures of mine and things like that. And it's this kind of beautiful relationship with a lot of vulnerability mixed into it, and that we get to create online essentially, right? I mean, sure, we're texting, we're talking on the phone. I do, Loom video recordings to them but we're able to create this relationship, and sometimes we've never met in person. And to me, that's one of the beautiful things about the internet, right? And technology in regards to like um, FaceTimes or video chats and things like that. Um, and so yeah, I'm thinking about that now, and I got kind of off track there, but yeah, relationship that I build with each client. So the 24/6. So I take Saturdays to unplug, but any other day during the week I'm available. And then each of my clients have a once a week check-in. So on the check-in day, they submit to me progress photos, weight, a check-in form, which basically just asks some questions from the week prior. How did the week prior go? And then I'm able to look at their food diary, their training videos, their pictures, all of their biofeedback, like what was energy like, stress, digestion, menstrual cycle. We assess all of those things each week. And then each week I get all of that information. I jump on a Loom video recording and I give them a response back. And so I'll say, hey Chloe, this is what I thought of the last 7 days, go through each thing, and this is the changes to the plan for the next 7 days. Then I send the video to them. They can click the link, watch the video of me, and watch my check and response each week. And then of course they're able to reach out to me, hey Taylor, I have questions about this, or I'm excited about the plan, or whatever. And that's kind of the once a week kind of standard check-in, if you will. And then, of course, all of my clients, we have our own one-to-one chat, but then I have an Embrace Fit women's group chat as well. And so all of the women from Embrace Fit are in that, group chat where they can lean on each other for additional support and accountability. So that's kind of the accountability piece of one-to-one coaching, if you will. And so, like I said, we talk a lot about obviously nutrition and training and the accountability piece and things like stress and sleep and water and recovery and all of those things. But also, we talk a lot about mindset things. And I have a higher education in mental health. I have a graduate degree in mental health clinical counseling. And so, mental health and mindset is just a huge passion of mine. I would say it's pretty much right up there with health and fitness to me in regards to like how much I adore those topics, if you will. And I know the mindset piece was huge in my journey and something that I had to really, really work on, and that I still work on. And so the mindset piece is huge throughout my coaching, because I think if we neglect that piece, a lot of times we don't see the progress or sustain the progress that we want to see. And so, that mindset, mental health piece is something that I talk with my clients a lot about. And so, yeah, that's kind of what one-to-one coaching is. And what I really want to say here is I think oftentimes people think of online coaching that it's not personal. And what I can say, and like I already alluded to, but just to reiterate, like something in my coaching that I really strive to do is I want it to be personal. I want it to be completely individualized to meet you where you're at, build from there, to where we want to go. But I also want this to be, I want you to feel seen and heard, and not like you're just another client, right? Like you are someone in my life who I value our relationship, and I want to help you every step of the way and empower you to, get you to where you want to go, essentially. And not only see results, but I want this to be a lifestyle change, to where you're able then to, when we don't work together anymore, you're able to sustain your results. Um, and so, yeah, let's see here. So who the heck is this for? Um, Hopefully it's for you if you're listening to this, right? Um, but I would say this is for any woman who has maybe been in my situation like I was years ago, to where they've tried anything and everything, and they just feel like they've been spinning their wheels, and they need something that is a little more hands-on, right? They need that person kind of in the back of their pocket to help them really get kind of rocking and rolling. Um, and this is for anyone who also maybe you're living the lifestyle and you are like, man, I really want to take things to the next level, like tighten things up. I really have this like big physique goal, or I just feel like I've been kind of stagnant, even though I'm doing kind of all of the things. Like one-to-one coaching can help you to kind of take off in that regard, right? Like tighten things up, right? Like we're already living the lifestyle, but like, man, we're ready to like really hit some serious physique, goals, right? Um, And I think this is also for someone who I love when clients value education and they want to learn. I want women in my program who are curious, who want to know like why are we doing this, Taylor? Why does this serve me? What changes are we making and why? I don't just want you to say, okay, I'll do it because Taylor's the coach here. I want you to learn. I want you to be like, hey, I want to learn along the way because I want this to be a lifestyle and I want this knowledge to carry on with me forever. Um, and two, like if you are someone who maybe you have a lot of great support in your life, but you maybe like a lot of people in your life like don't aren't really down with the health and fitness thing, right? And you feel kind of isolated that that's something that you want to pursue or that you do pursue. Like someone who wants to be around like-minded individuals, like I welcome you because it is so encouraging to be in a group chat or to have, that relationship with me who is passionate about health and fitness and maybe you are too or maybe you want to be, right? And to have like-minded people that you are around that are trying to achieve similar goals, there's so much power in that, right? Because I have a lot even prior to starting this journey, I had a lot of support in my life, but I didn't have many people in my life that were like living the health and fitness thing, right? And it was once I got a coach, right? Then I had that person who was rocking and rolling with the health and fitness thing. And then that helped me get connected with other people. And it was like, oh, cool. There are other people in this world that are really passionate about health and fitness that are like-minded. And that helped me through my journey. Um, and it can be isolating. It can be isolating if you are someone who maybe wants to be on a health and fitness journey, maybe you are, and like I said, there's other people in your life that just aren't. It can feel like, man, I'm just out here just doing this by myself, or like, why does nobody else value health and fitness? It's like I welcome you because we are a group of women who value health and fitness and are really trying our best to be our best. And I think it's so empowering to be around like-minded people. And yeah, I often think of the word stuck because I was stuck for so long in my journey, and it makes me sad to even think about. And I talk to women all the time, on social media or, if we get on a consult call, and I hear that all the time. Like, I am just stuck. I am stuck. I've tried everything. And oftentimes women are stuck because they haven't had a plan that is tailored to them, their lifestyle, their starting point, their goals, to help them navigate the highs and lows of life, to navigate the holidays together, to navigate summer together and vacations and going on dates. It's like, how do we do all of this, right? And that is what one-to-one coaching is it sure it gives you personalized nutrition protocols, it gives you a training protocol, it gives you accountability, but it also helps you learn how to navigate life, outer routine things, just life in general while being on a health and fitness journey and learning to have that balance that feels sustainable, right? And so yeah, this I would say one-to-one coaching is for any women out there who feels stuck and feels like, you know what? I have tried everything except for I have never invested in a coach who is not just going to be a personal trainer. Personal trainers are great. However, with one-to-one coaching, you get so much more than that. Yes, you get your training. You get me to watch your training. You get progressive overload, you get education on progressive overload. you also get nutrition, you also get accountability, but you also get a wealth of knowledge and support and accountability to help you along the way, right? Um, and someone to call you out, someone to call you out and say, hey, like our actions aren't exactly lining up with what we said we wanted to achieve. Where's the disconnect here, right? I never want to, belittle anybody, right? But some of my most pivotal moments in my own journey is when my coach, my current coach, has said to me, hey, Taylor, this isn't exactly aligning with this. And every time I get called out, I am so thankful for that. Me 10 years ago, I was not. I would get super defensive if someone would call me out, right? But now, again, I value the power of accountability and being called out of like, hey, this doesn't align with what we said we wanted to achieve. Like, where's the disconnect here, girlfriend, right? And that's the power of a coach, right? Is because sometimes the support in our life, sometimes they don't always say the hard things, right? And I think that to me, real support says the hard things. Doesn't mean they say it in a negative or nasty way, but they say the hard things to you when needed because they see that you're capable for this, right? But maybe we're only here. And so that's what I value. I value being a empowering and supportive person, but also, the type of accountability that's not just gonna kind of let you make these decisions that don't serve you. Like I'm gonna, hey, what are we doing here, right? And how can we get to where we want to go? Um, and so yeah, that's kind of one-to-one coaching. That was kind of went on a few tangents there, right? Which I usually do if you've been watching along. And if you haven't, there's three other episodes um on the podcast channel. But one-to-one coaching, I do currently have 5 spots available. I keep my roster at a decent size because I want this to be individualized. So I have a roster cap. It's just something that feels good to me. And so I have 5 spots available. And currently, I am offering 15% off to online coaching. So my nutrition only coaching and my full coaching to 5 women, I'm offering 15% off. And so that's really why I wanted to do this episode too, is because I am, marketing that discount currently. And I know there's some people out there that are like, what the heck is online coaching, right? And I get asked it a lot. And so wanted to give you a little bit of like feedback of what you can expect with online coaching. And if you are someone who is like, man, this sounds like something I really want to pursue, or you're like, hey, Taylor, this part didn't really make sense, or can you talk more about this? Or hey, this is my situation. What do you think would be best for me? Like my DMs are always open. We can jump on a Zoom call and chat. We can talk, via Messenger, DMs, whatever, if you have any questions about anything. So yeah, that's really it. And thanks for watching. And yeah, of course, let me know what other episodes you want to hear. Again, I would love your feedback because I want this to like provide value to you, and I want this to be a space where you feel less alone and you feel heard, and that we can connect. Even though maybe we're not connecting like live, I want you to listen to this podcast and feel less alone and feel connected in some way, because I think there's so much power in us humans connecting with each other. And I think that we are all a lot more alike than sometimes we realize. And yeah, so I'm going to stop rambling, but let me know if you have any questions or if you're interested in coaching. Again, I would love to chat with you further if this episode resonated with you. And yeah, talk to you soon.